Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Lecture number 17, unit number 8, functions and graphs. In this video lecture, we will discuss the question number 3 and question number 4 of exercise 8.2. In question number 3, we need to find vertex, all intercepts, if any, axis of the graph mean axis of the symmetry, because the graphs of the quadratic equations are always parabola. And the fourth thing that we need to find out is shape, mean the branches of the parabola will be open upward or downward, and these are the given quadratic functions. So for part number 1, for part 2, for part 3 and for part number 4, we need to find out all these. Mean we need to find out the vertex of every quadratic function in these 4 parts. We need to find out all intercept, if any, of all these 4 parts. We need to find out the axis of the graph of all these 4 parts, and we also need to find out the shape, that the branches will be open upward or downward, but without graphing. We didn't need to draw the graph, we just write theoretically. Here in this question, the sketching of a graph is not required. You see that without graphing. So understanding of the question in mathematics is so important. So you see from the beginning that without graphing, we didn't need to sketch the graph. You need to find out all these A, B, C, D for these 4 functions. Okay, so for part number 1, I'm considering part number 1, which is f of x is equal to 3 divided by 4x square. Now this is the given quadratic function. Let's say I named this quadratic function, let's say this is equation number 1. Now when you compare this quadratic function with the general form, so the general form is f of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, where a is not equal to 0. So when I compare this given quadratic function in the general form of the quadratic function, we get a is equal to 3 by 4, b and c are 0, b equal to 0, c equal to 0, because a is the coefficient of x square. So here in the given quadratic function, the coefficient of the x square is 3 by 4. So the value of a is 3 by 4. Now when we convert this general form into standard form, so the standard form is f of x is equal to a times x minus h whole square plus k. This is the standard form where a is not equal to 0. This hk, this ordered pair, is actually the vertex of this parabola. The graph of this standard form of quadratic function is parabola. So the graph of this parabola, the graph of this function is a parabola. His vertex is hk. Now, and axis of that parabola is x is equal to h, and the shape, mean the branches of the parabola upward or downward, depends on the value of a, mean the coefficient of x square. So if a is greater than 0, then the branches of the parabola will be open upward, and if a is less than 0, then the branches of the parabola will be open downward, mean the branches will be open downward. So you must remember these things. Okay, now if I compare the given quadratic function with the standard form of the quadratic function, So we get, by comparing, let's say this is 3, by comparing 1 and 3, we get a equal to 3 by 4. So a's 3 by 4 is greater than 0. This implies that the branch is a parabola. Actually, this given quadratic function graphically represents a parabola. So now, according to this theoretical work that we discussed 2 or 3 times in previous video lectures, now you see the value of a is 3 by 4, which is greater than 0. So this implies that the branches of the parabola will be open upward. Will be open upward. So this is your shape. You gave the solution for this D. So this is the shape. Now, after the shape, we discuss the vertex. So when I compare this given quadratic function in the standard form of the quadratic function, so we get h equal to 0 and k equal to 0. So by comparing one and 3, we get h equal to 0, k equal to 0. It is your choice. If you compare the general form with the given quadratic function, so you will get b equal to 0 and c equal to 0. And here the value of h is equal to minus b divided by 2a. So here b is equal to 0, so you will get h equal to 0, because 0 divided by 2 multiplied by 3 by 4. So anything divided by 0, you will get 0. And the value of k is equal to c minus b square divided by 4a. So here c is 0 and b is also 0. So 0 minus 0 divided by 4 times 3 by 4, you will get 0 from this also. So the choice is yours. If you want to compare the given quadratic function with the general form or with the standard form, you can calculate the value of k and h. So you get h and k. So as we know that the vertex is hk, so this implies this equal to 0 0 is the vertex of this quadratic function. Mean the graph of this quadratic function is parabola for which the vertex is 0 0. So we also find out the vertex. Next we need to find out axis of the graph and all intercept. So as you see from the theory, x is equal to h in this standard form is the axis of the graph, which is also known as axis of parabola, or you can say axis of symmetry. So in this case h is 0, so this implies that x equal to 0 mean y axis is the axis of the graph. So this is also point. Now we need to find out all intercept if there is any. So for intercepts, first we find out x-intercept. So for that put y equal to 0. For x-intercept we put y equal to 0 because x-intercept is such a point which lies on x-axis, and from that the curve will pass. So that's why we put y equal to 0. So as the given function is y is equal to 3 by 4x, so when you put y equal to 0, so this is actually you obtain 3 by 4 x square equal to 0, and when you calculate that, so you will get x equal to 0. So if y equal to 0, then 3 by 4 x square will be equal to 0. This implies that x square will be equal to 0, and this implies that x equal to 0. So 0 0 is your x-intercept. This is your x-intercept. And for y-intercept, let's say this is 4. For y-intercept, you need to put x equal to 0, because y-intercept is a point which lies on the y-axis. So on y-axis the x coordinate is 0. So x is equal to 0. Put this in 4. Put this in 4. So when I put x equal to 0 in 4, so we get y equal to 0. So 0 0 is the y-intercept also. So it means that the parabola will pass from the origin of the xy plane. So these are the points which you need to find out for question number 3. You didn't need to draw the graph. You didn't need to draw the graph. This is mentioned in the question. Okay, so this is part number 1. Now part number 2 is as it is. So I will discuss part 2 shortly. Now part 2. Part 2 is f of x is equal to minus 2x square plus 8. Okay. Now this can be written as r f of x is equal to minus 2 times x square minus 4, or you can write it as it is. Let's say this is equation 1. Now I comparing this with the journal form. F of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, where a is not equal to 0. This is the journal form of a quadratic function. So when I comparing 1 and 2, we get a equal to minus 2, b equal to 0, because there is no term which contain x, so that's why b is 0, and c is equal to 8. So first of all, if I want to find the vertex, so vertex is actually hk is the vertex of the parabola. So we know that h is equal to minus b divided by 2a, and k is minus c minus b square divided by 4a. So this implies b. So b is 0, so minus 0 divided by 2 minus 2, because the value of a is minus 2, and c is actually 8. 0 square divided by 4 into minus 2. So anything divided by 0 you will get 0, and anything divided by 0 you will get 0. So here the 8 is left. So this is the vertex. This is the vertex of this parabola. This is the vertex. Okay. Now b. What will be the intercept? Intercept. So a is the given function is y is equal, because we know that y is equal to f of x. So instead of writing f of x, I am writing y. So y is equal to minus 2x square plus 8. Okay, now let's say this is equation number 3. So for x-intercept, put y equal to 0 in 3. We get minus 2x square plus 8 equal to 0. Shift 8 on the right side, so you get that become minus 8. Dividing both sides by minus 2, so 4. taking square root on both sides, so you will get plus minus 2. So when y equal to 0, the value of x will be 2 and the value of x will also be minus 2. So the x-intercepts are the x-intercepts are 2 0 and minus 2 0. Okay, now next for y-intercept, put x equal to 0 because y-intercept is a point on the y-axis having coordinate x coordinate equal to 0. So when I put x equal to 0 in equation 3, we get y equal to 8. Thus y-intercept is 0 8. You always write the x coordinate, the value of x first in the ordered way. So this is the y-intercept and these are the x-intercepts. Mean the parabola will passes from the x-axis 8 2 0 and minus 2 0, and that parabola will pass from the y-axis at a point 0 8. So these are the intercepts. We find vertex, we find intercept. Next we will discuss that what will be the axis of the parabola. The given parabola is this. Mean quadratic functions are actually represent a parabola. The graphs of them are always parabola, so that's why I am saying that the next point is to find the axis of the parabola, mean the axis of the graph of this function. So C part is axis of the graph, or you can write axis of the parabola, or you can write axis of the symmetry. Is if I write the given quadratic journal form in the standard form, so from that standard form we know that x is equal to h is the graph is the vertical line which is the axis of the graph. So x is equal to h. This equation is the axis of the graph. That is concluded from this theoretical work that we discussed in previous video lectures. So here you see that the value of h that we calculate here, we get 0. So this implies that x equal to 0 mean y-axis, vertical line y-axis is the axis of symmetry, or you can say axis of the graph. So this is C. Now in last we need to find that what will be the shape of the parabola. So a equal to minus 2, you see the coefficient of x square which is less than 0. So therefore the branches of parabola mean the graph of this function. Parabola mean the graph of this function. You can write the branches of the parabola which is the graph of the given function, which is the graph of the given function will be open downward because the value of h is less than 0, will be open downwards, and we didn't need to draw the graph because it is mentioned in the question. So this is part number 2. Now going towards the part number 3. Part number 3, same procedure will be applied to find out the vertex or intercept if there is any, axis of the graph of this function, and the shape mean the parabola branches will be open upward or downward. So part number 3 is f of x is equal to minus x square plus 6x minus 5. Let's say this is equation number 1. Now I am writing the journal form. The journal form of quadratic function is f of x is equal to ax square plus bx plus c, where a is not equal to 0. Let's say this is equation number 2. So comparing 1 and 2, comparing equation 1 and equation 2, we get a equal to minus 1. You clearly see that the number which is multiplied from the left to a variable is called the coefficient. So minus times x square mean minus 1 times x square. So minus 1 is the coefficient of x square. B is equal to 6 and c is equal to minus 5. Now we need to find out the vertex, axis of the graph, shape of the parabola which is the graph of this quadratic function, and all intercept if there is any. So for that we know that vertex is having vertex is actually a point of the plane, so it must have an ordered pair for their representation. To show their position in the plane, there must be an ordered pair. So that ordered pair is HK, and this V is just a name for that point. So we know that H is equal to minus B divided by 2A, and K is C minus B square divided by 4A. So from here we get minus B. So minus 6 divided by 2 times minus 1, and C minus 5 minus B square 6 square 4 times minus 1. I just plug the values of A, B, C here. So from here we conclude that minus 6 divided by minus 2, and this is minus 5 minus 36 divided by minus 4. So this is minus minus will be cancelled. 6 divided by 2 mean 3. This is minus 5. This minus and this minus will become positive, and 36 divided by 4 mean 9. When you divide 36 by 4 you will get 9. Okay, so V become mean vertex become 3, mean x coordinate of the vertex will be 3 and y coordinate of the vertex will be 4, because minus 5 plus 9 you will get 4. So vertex is this. So you can find the vertex. This is the vertex of this graph. Now then the next is intercept. Intercepts mean the point at which the graph of the given function will pass x-axis and y-axis. So first of all we will find out x-intercept. X-intercept is a point which lies on the x-axis. So for that we will put y equal to 0. Remember this point. Anyway, if you find out the x-intercept, put y equal to 0, because x-intercept is a point which lies on the x-axis. Okay, so for that A is y is equal to minus x square plus 6x plus 5. Let's say this is equation number 3. This is the given quadratic function. Instead of f of x I am writing y. We explained this point earlier. Okay, now for x-intercept put y equal to 0. So when I put y equal to 0 in 3, we get minus x square plus 6x plus 5 equal to 0. Sorry, this is minus 5 in the question. Now multiplying minus on both sides, so this implies that x square minus 6x plus 5 equal to 0. Now this is a quadratic function, so to find out the roots of this quadratic equation, sorry, this is a quadratic equation, so to find out its root we use the method of factorization. When I multiply the coefficient of x square with this constant term, I will get 5. So then I need to split the coefficient of x in such two parts that from their addition I get minus 6 and for their multiplication I get plus 5. So that is x square minus 5x minus x plus 5. So I taking common x from the first two terms, so that will x common, so here x will be remaining minus as it is, and when I take common x from here, so 5 will be left. I am taking common minus 1 from here, so that will be x minus 5 will be left. You see that in both, now this is your one term, consider this as one term and this is another term, so in these two terms the common is x minus 5. X minus 5 is taken common. In the first term x is remain, and in the second minus 1 equal to 0. So now remember, whenever the product of two factors, you see that these are the two factors, these are the two factors of this quadratic equation. So whenever the product of two factors is equal to 0, so at least one of them must be 0. So that's why I can write that either x minus 5 equal to 0 or x minus 1 equal to 0. So this implies that x is equal to 5 and x is equal to 1. So thus 5 0 and 1 0 are the x intercepts of the parabola, which is the graph of the function that is f(x) is equal to minus x square plus 6x minus 5. So these are the intercept. Now the next step is we need to find out the axis of the graph. So we know that the equation x is equal to h is the equation of the axis, mean axis of the graph, which is a vertical line parallel to y-axis, or sometime it lies on the y-axis when the value of h is equal to 0. So here we already calculate the value of h. This is the value of h. H is actually minus b divided by 2a. So we calculate it, and this is equal to 3. So that is h equal to 3. Therefore the equation x equal to 3 is the equation of the axis of the graph. This is actually the equation of the axis of the graph of the given quadratic function. Okay, and at last we need to find out the shape, that what will be the shape of the given quadratic function. Shape. So a is equal to, here you see that the value of a is minus 1, is less than 0. Therefore the branches of parabola, which is the graph of the given quadratic function, will be open downward. So this is all about the part number 3. Okay, so we discussed part 3 in detail. Now part number 4 is the assignment for you people. This part number 4 is the assignment. This is as it is as the previous 3 questions are. Actually this is almost the same as that we discussed part number 3, but just here the value of a is -1, here the value of a will be +1, so the branches will be open upward. Here the value of b is 6, here is 2, here is -5 the value of c, and the value of c here is -3. So you can solve this question, mean find out the vertex or intercept if there is any axis of this graph, axis of the graph of this function, and the shape, mean the branches open upward or downward. So this is assignment for you people. Solve this as I solved part number 3 of this question number 3. So this is the assignment, and please submit this assignment as soon as possible on the email that I already send to you people on WhatsApp group, or you can send through it on WhatsApp. Okay, so inshallah in next video we will discuss question number 4, because this video becomes so lengthy if I also discuss question 4 in this video. So inshallah in the coming video we will discuss question number 4, and that will be the end of exercise 8.2. Thank you.